Blaine Pummel as Chamber President in 1967. About that time, one of our board members, Harry Bell, came forward and he said, I think what we need to do is that we have a number of conventions coming to Spearfish, and we need to do something for them. And so he came up with the idea of a fish fry. Well, we had conventions from all the way from 25, and we could see them come up to 800. So that was quite a job. So when we started serving, it was always amusing to me that when people started coming through there, a lot of times they would turn up their nose at looking at the fish, because the fish still had the head on the fish. But a lot of them came back for seconds. So it was really pretty exciting to do that, and we did that for a number of years. Well, I was in the bank at that time, and I was handling the insurance. And when those fish fries started, I got pretty concerned because I was aware that we needed insurance. And going back to the old articles of incorporation, we were not really sure whether we were incorporated or not. And so I went to Gary Richards. He was a board member, and he was the attorney in town. And so we filed articles of incorporation. So from that point on, we were covered under the liability, under the product's liability insurance.
Karen Pummel, and I was the board president in 1992. And at that time, when the Deadwood You Bet committee came to the chamber wanting us to endorse them, we wholeheartedly did that. And afterward had a retreat. And at that retreat, one of the things we addressed is how that would impact, gaming would impact Spearfish. Of course, none of us had any idea. And remember so well, David Summer at that time was executive director, and he approached us with the fact that there would probably be billboards along Highway 85. And we jumped right on that and took it to the Deadwood Chamber and the lead chamber, and then eventually presented it to the Lawrence County Commissioners, and they were wholeheartedly accepted the idea of only allowing directional signs on Highway 85 on the corridor to Deadwood. And after visiting with the county commissioners, we were all elated at the fact that we were all on board on not having any billboards along Highway 85. And I have to say that every time I drive to Deadwood, I look at that beautiful scenery and I'm thinking, we did it, good job.
French Bryan, and I was board president in 1998. Most of the directors were put together by various outfits like the Days Inn franchise, Best Western franchise, the Super 8 franchise. They all had people, and the campground franchises. People would come in from out of the area and sell, and the money would be sent out of town. And this way the money was kept in town both for printing cost, distribution, and sales. The in-room guide was a uniform directory. It was available to all the hotels and any other facilities that wanted it. Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce should be the voice of the community, not just attracting other businesses. They making people understand the importance of the tourist dollar. For years there was the Passion Play in town. It was kind of the only act in community, but now the other tourist facilities, the tourist attractions such as Booth, the High Plains Heritage, the Chamber's been very active in supporting the roles that they play in pulling bus tours and other groups into the area.
My name is Beth Benning, and I worked for the city as finance officer or assistant finance officer from 1972 through 2009. Most of my experience with Chamber comes from working for the city and partnering with the Chamber on a myriad of things. As the Chamber grew and expanded and the community grew and expanded, the partnership began to grow and flourish, I think, between the city and the businesses and the Chamber. For instance, when they worked with the city on the second penny of sales tax, on what that could do for a community of our size. And then again, when they really supported the city on the third penny sales tax, which is the hospitality tax. The city can't promote its own agenda like that. It's illegal. So the Chamber stepped in and said, we'd be more than happy to promote that agenda for you. You know, we can't buy yard signs and so forth and so on. So it was the Chamber really stepped in and became the publicity arm. The Chamber also helped with things at the university, seeing the economic engine that the university is for the community and what a new center like the Donald E. Young Center would do as far as drawing students and instructors to the community, made the Chamber a great partner once again. The Convention Center, also a wonderful partnership. We kind of felt like we were being left a little bit in the dust from the big cities, and we had just as much, if not more, to offer. Beautiful area, wonderful place to be, Northern Black Hills. So the Chamber and the city and the Holiday Inn at the time partnered to do a much better, expanded, nicer convention center. And one of the last things I remember that partnering with the Chamber with is the rec center. That too, anything that happens in a community that makes it more of a destination helps the businesses, the community, the sales tax effort, and makes everything a little more cosmopolitan for a small city. The Chamber's never really been an opponent of the city. They've always been a partner of the city. I think everybody that was on the board of the Chamber was forward-thinking.
I'm Calvin Dardis, and I was the Chamber President in 2006. All right, so in 2006, we were funded by the city with some funds to work on the beautification in Spearfish. And out of that came the brainchild of the waterfall at exit 12. And from there, the city was involved, the Chamber was involved, and Myers Landscaping was involved. They did a wonderful job on doing that. And there was also some other little projects that we got to get involved in. One of the little projects was the Christmas lights on the lighting poles downtown. And there was a great gentleman that every year took those lights down and made sure that all the lights were working. But I think our biggest project for sure was the waterfall at exit 12, and also the bricks that were up there. Everybody that purchased bricks up there also helped out on that project, so that was a pretty big thing for the community to get involved in. And honestly, to this day, I think it's one of the greatest entrances to a city, coming off exit 12, and that's the first thing you see. It really represents what this town and city is all about. You know, whenever I drive by it, I always think that this is the greatest entrance to a city, and it's our city.
I'm Josh Horak, and I was the Chamber President in 2010. During my time as presidency, one of the things that I feel was a big accomplishment for the Chamber was when the city of Spearfish decided to create Visit Spearfish. And during that time, we had a lot of community leaders and a lot of meetings, good, bad, or indifferent, at the time, come together, kind of unify Spearfish, really. It was a big reorganization for the Chamber. We were able to become self-sufficient and focus a whole lot more on being business advocates for the community. As a result, obviously, we have a great organization in town, Visit Spearfish, and a strong Chamber of Commerce. So part of the reorganization or the creation of Visit Spearfish allowed the Chamber to expand more in their business advocacy through being focusing more on business growth, business development. Some of those things involved different trainings, different speakers, and not so much focusing on the visiting, the tourism side. So we were able to put a lot more energy in becoming a business leader in the community. Part of when I was on the Chamber board, actually, and during my presidency and past presidency, we had discussed a young professional group because We feel there was a lack of emerging leaders in our community, and to try and get some of these young professionals involved in the community to kind of handle the future growth of Spearfish and to pass the torch on and let them continue on with things that previous leaders have already set forward and put in place. So it's been good to watch that young professionals group grow. It's always exciting to see what things they're doing and all the social networking they're doing and how they're contributing to a better Spearfish.
My name's Barb Klein, and I was the Chamber President in 2016. As Board President in 2016, we invited the Spearfish Economic Development Corporation to come to the table to visit with the Chamber about a potential remodel to the Chamber offices. Economic development at that particular point in their organization had decided to expand the number of employees that they had on staff and needed additional space, also needed some additional meeting room space to talk with potential clients. The Chamber benefited significantly, I think, from this new partnership, and we found that there were lots of new looks that I believe lifted employee spirits, really improved the perception of the community about what the Chamber could hold for them. With the new design, we have the opportunity to provide a more professional setting to do some of our in-house training. With our new design, we wanted to keep in mind that we were actually the front door to the community, bringing in businesses, new residents to the community, and offering a welcoming and well-designed first look.
And as the Spearfish Chamber looks toward its next 100 years, we must recognize all those who volunteered their time, talents, and support over this past century to bring us to where we are today, a naturally inviting city with a rich heritage and a bright future.